Truth be told, currently we are living in some of the most unexpected political times of this country. Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, William Ruto, and Raila Odinga are said to be people that cannot be cooked in one pot. But you will be surprised about the things that are currently happening behind the curtains in regards to Rigathi Gachagua associating himself with the current government of President William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Now, President William Ruto has currently come into realization that we cannot go forward like this. Rigathi Gachagua, we impeached him knowing or expecting that this man will disappear from the political scene as soon as he is kicked out of office. But all hung to him. Rigathi Gachagua turned out to be one of the most unfortunate forces that can become the hindrance of President William Ruto retaining his presidency for the second term come the year 2027. And as of today, it seems that the rumors that have been ripe that Rigathi Gachagua and Raila Odinga are negotiating on a way to move forward and how they will work with President William Ruto going forward. Now, in regards to the intel that we received today, is that Rigathi Gachagua met with President William Ruto's men together with Raila Odinga's men. Now, what does this tell you? It tells you that the political ties are shifting. Rigathi Gachagua, a man that has been known to be the greatest critic currently of President William Ruto, is currently taking a break from attacking President William Ruto and stepping back to allow the president to execute his manifesto and to work with Raila Odinga towards the betterment of the Republic of Kenya. As we all know, today the former vice president and the current loyal opposition leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, the PLP People's Liberation Party leader, Martha Karua, were holding a presser at Sarova Panafric, where they were addressing an incident of land grabbing involving the Kenya Railways. Now, in that press, if there is somebody that was expected to be there, so that they all should have shown a they should have shown shown the Kenyan people that they were in solidarity of protecting the people against anything that is brought against them by this government of President William Ruto, who was Rigathi Gachagua. But Rigathi Gachagua wasn't there. Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka were the people that were there. Now, what we're being told, while these people, Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka, were holding a presser at Sarova Panafric, Rigathi Gachagua, on the other hand, was having a meeting. And the meeting was between him and a loyal friend to President William Ruto and an official of Raila Odinga's team. Now, according to one Maverick Aoko, one of the greatest political bloggers that we have currently in the Republic of Kenya, and somebody that our intel has always been right. 99% of Maverick Aoko's intel or exposure has always stood out to be the real deal. She said this: Wamonyoro, Gachagua, Githu Muigai, and Makau Mutua, who is Mutu ya Raila, are currently meeting at Sadvik Gardens behind Quickmart, Kiambu Road. Interesting times ahead. Don't worry, I will keep you updated. Now, allow me to diverge you into this matter. Githu Muigai was the lead lawyer against Rigathi Gachagua during his impeachment time. Now, when the case of Rigathi Gachagua was brought against him, the impeachment case was brought against him and it was upheld by the Senate. The man that defended the Senate, the National Assembly, and the President of the Republic of Kenya against Rigathi Gachagua in the High Court of Kenya was none other than Professor Githu Muigai, the former Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. And as we all know, Githu Muigai has deep roots in President William Ruto's government, and he is among the legal advisors to the president. Are we together? One Makau Mutua is also a friend to Raila Molodinga, and he is among the strategists and the organizers of this pact between Raila Molodinga and William Ruto. Now, Githu Muigai has always been calling out Rigathi Gachagua openly on platform X, and a few months ago, Rigathi Gachagua replied to one Professor Makau Mutua by calling him a gay. Now, Gachagua alimuita shoga Professor Makau Mutua, a narrative that was propelled around social media, and a lot of people called out one Makau Mutua for his attacks on Rigathi Gachagua. Now the question is, how comes that these who are the greatest enemies of Rigathi Gachagua are currently seated together and eating together in a meeting today, discussing the way forward of how Gachagua will work with the government of Kenya Kwanza? Rigathi Gachagua has been known to be an open critic, a man that does not shy off from exposing President William Ruto. He makes it known that he and President William Ruto can never work together, they can never sail on the same boat. But currently, there has been rumors that have been going around that before the year 2027 comes, Rigathi Gachagua will be back in President William Ruto's government and they will work together. Are we together? So the question is, could it be that Rigathi Gachagua and Professor Githu Muigai and Makau Mutua were sent to talk to Gachagua and see on how they can negotiate and work together moving forward? Now, could it also be that the case of impeachment against Rigathi Gachagua is a case that will be overruled, and that Githu Muigai, the man who is representing the government against Rigathi Gachagua, is currently discussing the way forward if this case is overruled, how Rigathi Gachagua will associate with the government, whether Rigathi Gachagua will be vying or will work with William Ruto behind the curtains come the year 2027. We all know Rigathi Gachagua's greatest enemy right now is those that voted against him being impeached. Now, he wants revenge on them. Now, what could be the best revenge than him being kicked out of the government and the president swallowing his pride and calling Rigathi Gachagua back to the negotiating table and having him behind the curtains run things and control the politics and the narrative around the Mount Kenya region? Now, many of you might oppose this, but remember, politics is a very dirty game. And at the end of the day, the dirtiest players are the ones that always stand out. William Ruto is the greatest, dirtiest political player. Raila Molodinga is a great dirty player in politics. And that is why they have always been on the winning side. It doesn't matter that they will differ this time, but at the end of the day, you will find them dining together. Are we together? So Rigathi Gachagua seems to be understanding the game of politics as time unfolds. And that is why these news cannot be rubbed off. Why am I saying this? There is also a certain narrative that has been purported and has been propelled around the government currently, that former Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, who made it known to the people of the Republic of Kenya that he will be vying on a Jubilee ticket for the presidential candidate come the year 2027, there is a certain rumor that Matiang'i is currently in negotiation with Raila Molodinga to be absorbed in the recent cabinet reshuffle, that Raila Molodinga will be given an opportunity to make a decision of the leaders that he wants to serve as cabinet secretaries in William Ruto's Nusu Mkate government. Now, Fred Matiang'i knows that there is a long time here from 2025 to the year 2027. And, you know, being in government, you can prepare accordingly to become an opposition of the government come the year 2027. And I once told you, Raila Amolo Odinga kujiunga na William Ruto was not a foolish move. It's a move out of Raila's book that has always been used to make sure that Raila is in government, and when the right time comes, he walks out of the government with the required people that will help him form the next government. Are we together? You can all see these cards playing out. And if you sit down and relook at these analyzation, you will see some truth in this discussion of this topic that we are having. Now, after it was made clear that Professor Makau Mutua and Professor Githu Muigai met with Rigathi Gachagua today, a lot of people had things to say in regards to this news. And I want to read a few comments from the Kenyans who are currently speaking about what is happening. I see one Tevo is almost telling our colleagues, Kenyans always entertained by Wamunyoro, yet they are suffering because Wamunyoro brought Ruto to power. Let that sink. Bishop says Raila can change his mind any time from now. If there is something Raila fears, it's people turning away from him. Over to you, Kenyans. Rotol Francis says 3 years ago, the transformer another one here is Kodeko saying Gachagua appeared to be more oppositional than Okia. Not to badmouth, but I need to see more from Okia. I am Chege saying I'm meeting to talk about rescuing their looting business from youths who have declared war against looters. Let me pull a chair. Kenyan and Chain says politics makes for strange table meets. When interests align, even the most unlikely people find a way to sit together. What could be cooking this time? And that is why I'm telling you, politics is the dirtiest game that that you can ever play in. You might all be thinking that, Gachagua can never work with William Ruto again. So, how about you sit down currently and reason that maybe the political businesses of Rigathi Gachagua, I mean the businesses, the personal businesses and personal interests of Rigathi Gachagua and Raila Amolo Odinga are aligning, and that of William Ruto are aligning. Though I am not in government as Rigathi Gachagua, but I can have influence out of the government. Are we together? That is what is unfolding. Tell me your thoughts on the comment section. And do you see a possibility of Raila, Ruto, and Gachagua working together? Subscribe to our YouTube channel.